And we're live. Hello and welcome to the Football Podcast for Sunday, the 25th of October. I'm joined as always by a certain Adam Golau to discuss the hottest stories surrounding the footballing world.
Hello, Theo. It is a pleasure to be here, and without further ado, let us commence this podcast.
Indeed, in today's edition of the Football Podcast, we will be covering the Premier League table compared to our predictions and its results, along with some information about the famous El Classico, which occurred, I believe, yesterday or the day before. And Adam?
But, as always, before we continue enjoying our content, we would really appreciate a like, subscribe, and if you could turn on the notification bell, it would be great. But, without further ado, as you said, let us commence the podcast. With the Premier League results, and the high-flying Aston Villa, who started that season very well, were defeated by Leeds United, although they still do have a game in hand. And it was a 3-0 defeat. West Ham did well to win a point off a strong Man City, who are very much struggling this season. Then you have Fulham, who were defeated at home by Crystal Palace, 2-1. Not very boring 0-0 draw, but it was the second one of the season with Manchester United and Chelsea. Liverpool also, as Crystal Palace were able to do, had a 2-1 victory, but it was at home. Those are the Premier League results as far as we speak. However, Southampton, I believe, are beating, is it Everton, Theo?
Yeah, it is Everton. So while Adam was speaking maybe a minute ago, you may have heard a slight whistle. That was my phone going off, telling me it's halftime at the South Coast. Danny Ings providing 2 assists, James Ward-Prowse and Shea Adams getting the goals for Southampton. So Everton looking not the same side that they were in the first few games, so definitely something to look out for there. So yeah, Premier League, interesting Friday night fixture. We had Aston Villa versus Leeds. 2 really good going teams, going really well so far. Leeds beating them 3-0. We didn't expect this. I think if it went either way, we wouldn't have been so shocked. I think it would have been bigger for Aston Villa to take the 3 points. That would have been the bigger shock. But Leeds taking all 3 points and scoring 3 goals, all from the same player, Patrick Bamford, hat-trick hero. And he's really enjoying life in the Premier League. So all credit to him. So really good few goals there. Then Mikel Antonio, continuing his good form from last season, carrying that into this season, getting the opener, and then an equalizer from Phil Foden, respectively, picking up some decent form here and there. And then we had Crystal Palace. Zaha, I believe, got a goal, a late consolation in the 95th minute from Fulham. Couldn't save them a point, so they sitting on 1 point right now in the Premier League table. So really, they'll be really disappointed about that. They're rock bottom because of goal difference. And then we had the big game of the weekend, I guess, Man United versus Chelsea, and this was, Adam put it rather positively. Obviously, as a Chelsea fan, I'm gonna say it's a yawn fest. It was a yawn fest in my opinion. Why do you do this? Both teams looking like they're afraid to attack because they're going to get counter-attacked and then scored upon. It's just, oh, God. That's just not how football is played. You play it without fear. That's what the Premier League is all about. It's supposed to be end-to-end, exciting. It's just, what was that game? Really, really boring. 0-0. Chelsea had, maybe 3-4 shots. Nothing that remotely troubled David De Gea. Chelsea aren't using Pulisic enough when he's on the ball. Too flat, not enough movement. Static. Man United, just disappointing. And I guess the one talking point was whether a penalty should have been given against Harry Maguire when he was preventing Aspilicueta from having a free header on goal. Aspilicueta got the other side of Maguire just before the half from a cross, and well, Harry Maguire pulled him down. And at halftime, I was thinking it's a penalty, and so did the people at halftime. They were saying there was a clear penalty, and surely it was. I mean, I'll get you an image of it up here now, but it's just ridiculous. It must be a penalty, surely. I mean, I don't understand VAR sometimes. They're just really messing it up in some areas. And I hope it gives as much as it takes away. It takes away a lot, and it's not giving enough. Because that was a clear penalty. So, assuming that Jorginho scored that game, that would have been 3 points for Chelsea, and that would have put them into a very advantageous position ahead of Sunday. Would have been the top four. So that's a bit of a disappointing one, but Chelsea didn't play well, nor did Man United, so boring 0-0. And then Liverpool coming back to beat Sheffield United, who are also losing severely in the Premier League right now. 1 point, drastic changes from last season. They were doing really well.
I did want to mention that, yesterday, Sheffield United did not play like a team that are on 1 point from, I think, 5 or 6 games. They played bravely. They had many chances. They weren't very clinical, but they had quite a few chances. And just on the point of VAR, I think Liverpool had. I think they had a goal, Mohamed Salah's goal. It was a really, really cute finish. He controlled it and volleyed it, and with his lethal left foot into the bottom corner. It was a great goal, and so I mean, it could have been a different story. It had Mo Salah had that goal allowed. I think it was his kneecap that was offside, just about. His running, kind of, his knee was forward. But imagine, I think it would have been a lot different had the end result been 3-0 Liverpool, because there was also the controversial penalty that I was watching Match of the Day last night. Jermaine Genius thinks it wasn't a penalty, or a free kick for that matter. Then there's also that controversy. But the VAR is really changing games, and towards the end of the season, it could determine a lot. The outcome of the table. But sorry for that interjection, Theo. Keep going.
Yeah, no problem at all, Adam. I was just gonna say it. This is what champions do, really. Dig deep, get results despite anything that goes against them, really. And they dug deep. Diego Jota, I believe, got a goal, right, Adam?
Correct.
Yeah, second goal for the club. So he's looking like pretty impressive prospect in that Reds t-shirt. It's just whether he can get the game time, because with Mane back and fit, recovering from the virus, I think it'll be hard for him to get minutes. I think he'll be coming off the bench mostly. But it'll be interesting because he'll provide some competition for Mane. Possibly a backup if he heads off to Spain, like he's been suspected to do so. But we will move on from there. We'll go to our Classico, and Adam has a lot of information on this one, so I'll give this one over to you, Adam. Barcelona losing 3-1 at home to Real Madrid, a rare sight these days.
Indeed. It was a pleasant Saturday afternoon in the city of Barcelona, in which Real Madrid struck fast and early. It's promising to be a very high-quality El Clasico, which there have been better, there have been more iconic, but it was not bad. The scoring started off with Federico Valverde in the 5th minute. Ansu Fati, the prodigy, I think he's 17 years old, turning 18 later this year, pulled it back in the 8th minute. Then it was 1-1 until Sergio Ramos scored a penalty, and Luka Modric rubbed salt into some hate wounds in the 90th minute. I think that El Clasicos are getting better. It's not the same without Ronaldo. It's really not the same. And a quick factoid here: Madrid have won their first El Clasico of the season at Camp Nou and have been beaten by Barca in consecutive league games for the first time since 2007-2008. Basically, that means I believe they haven't beat Barcelona at the new camp since 2007-2008. So yeah, I think it was a deserved victory for Real Madrid, but Barcelona are not the same as they were
Yeah,
a couple of years ago.
definitely. And actually, I want to make a point here. I'm looking at the lineup to the game. Not a lot of quality. I'm looking, especially in the attacking areas. I'm looking at the front four right now. I'm seeing Pedri, Lionel Messi, Philippe Coutinho, and Ansu Fati. Is that a front four that's going to win them the league? Is that a front four that's going to win them the league? Is it, Adam?
Well, I mean, they are playing a 4-4-2. So, and I think that Messi was really he was trying to exploit the gaps as he always does between Casemiro, Ramos, and Varane. So that little pocket between. But frankly, Casemiro himself had Messi in his pocket all game. Of course, he has sparks of brilliance. He does every game, but they were controlled sparks, if you will. Ansu Fati, I think he definitely has the qualities here.
Yeah.
Coutinho, on his day, a really, really great player. Pedri still has to prove himself. He got subbed off. I think Ousmane Dembele came on, but I can see what you mean, Theo. You think are these is this front four better than Liverpool? Is it better than City's? Is it better than Bayern Munich to contend with the big boys? And well, I can see why you don't think so yet, but I think that will conclude our detour off to Spain for the El Clasico, and we move on to talking about the Premier League. Theo, do you want to say what the league table is so far?
Yeah, so we're gonna go from top to bottom, as it stands. Everton are at the front of the summit, really, of the Premier League mountain, with 13 points, beating Liverpool by only goal difference. I guess that demolition of Liverpool by Aston Villa is really playing a role in the goal difference there. 5 lost for Liverpool on that Sunday night. Then we have Aston Villa after Liverpool. Everton and Liverpool both have 13 points. Aston Villa, third place. Really, really doing well. 12 points on the board after 6 games, I believe. Five games?
I believe they have 5 games there. They have a game in hand.
Yeah, so, I mean, there we go. They could actually, if with this game in hand, they can go 15 points and overtake everybody. Go to the top of the league. I mean, that the prospect of that is really, really strange, but exciting in the same sense, I guess. Leeds and Crystal Palace, respectively, both have 10 points. Leeds 4th, Crystal Palace 5th. Both doing really well. Leeds taking the Premier League by storm, and Crystal Palace really being consistent this year so far, beating Manchester United, as we know. Chelsea, 9 points, not far behind, in 6th place at the moment. I think they could be doing better with the signings so far, but once the team gets gelling, I think mid-season we could expect a lot more from them. I think the best is yet to come from the Blues. Leicester, also 9 points, and they've been decent so far as well. Arsenal and Wolves also holding 9 points. Arsenal 8th, Wolves 9th. So they're both doing pretty okay. Wolves, I actually expected a little bit more from Wolves in the early stages of the league. Tottenham 8 points, subpar, I guess. West Ham as well, doing a lot better than we expected actually. Man City, well, explain this to me. 8 points, Man City. Southampton 8 points. Newcastle 7 points. Man United 15th.
Well, Theo, actually, before you move on, on Southampton, they are currently leading, as we said earlier, against Everton, meaning that they could leapfrog all the way to 4th place if they do win.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. That would overtake Leeds, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Leicester, Arsenal, Wolves, Tottenham, West Ham, Man City. A lot of big names in that list. That is very impressive if they can beat league leaders Everton, which they are 2-0, 2 assists, Danny Ings, Jay Adams, James Ward-Prowse. Then we have Man United, Newcastle before, both 7 points, 15th place Man United. Please, someone explain this to me. Brighton, 4 points, and this is where we get to the teams that are really underperforming. West Brom, as we expected. Burnley and Sheffield United in the relegation zone, late October. We did not expect that. No. Second half has begun at the same areas. So I'll be keeping an eye on that one for the rest of this podcast. Sheffield and then Fulham. Yeah, we expected that. Not doing well, but Sheffield and Burnley did not see that coming. But I think we've got more to see from them. It's early table, so let's not get too carried away. This is up against our predictions. I mean, we can't make too many early judgments, I guess. Well, we'll get to see a true table, I guess, once we get to, like, end of November, I think, early December. I think after the December period, that will really tell us where everyone's at mid-season, because that will be kind of a breaking point for a lot of clubs who haven't been doing so well, or maybe a downfall for a lot of clubs. Games where people will either gain a lot or drop a lot, so I think after the end of the December period, we'll get to see. It'll be a big test of a lot of teams, especially Everton and Aston Villa. I remember Aston Villa didn't have such a good December period last time, so we'll have to see about that one. So, again, we saw West Brom. We thought West Ham would finish our relegation zone is interesting. We have Aston Villa bottom. I mean, this could still happen. I mean, unrealistic at this point if you have such a good start to the league. If they can keep this up, anything like this, then they should be pretty good. West Brom, pretty on track with that one. Fulham as well, West Ham. Again, I think the worst from West Ham is yet to come. So, yeah. Then we've got, going back from the top, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, Man United, 2 clubs not doing so well right now, the 2 Manchester clubs. Then we've got Wolves, who are doing pretty well, Arsenal as well, side by side, Leicester and Tottenham. Leicester's doing pretty well right now, Tottenham okay, Burnley, Sheffield United, side by side in the league table as well, in the relegation zone. Then Everton, of course, I think there will be a lot of ups and downs for them, so I think first place is not a permanent position at all. I'm expecting something more like...
Theo, I was just realizing something. We put them in 11th place. If you
Yeah.
take off one of the ones, that is what they are right now.
Yeah, well, fate maybe is on their side. Yeah, just add 10. And there's their weak place by us. Crystal Palace. I mean, I think that's probably a realistic standpoint for them. Leeds definitely will finish higher than 13th. We think Brighton, probably relegation contenders, as we said, but they've got enough quality for it to stay up. Newcastle, Fulham. I think Fulham will probably drop, but we'll make those exact predictions after the December period. So yeah, we'll see you then. Adam, any final notes about our predictions?
Well, there are no final notes about predictions. I think, actually, there are maybe. I think that it's really incredible. I mean, we are early in the season, but how right we were with some teams and how far wrong we were, along with so many people, about other teams. It is quite incredible. We were not expecting the start we've had. Abundance of goals, thrilling games, shocking results. It's been a good start. Hopefully they can keep up this pace. But on that note, I will remind you again, as I always do, do not forget to like, subscribe, turn on the notifications bell, comment if you have anything you want to tell us, and that's goodbye from me, and I presume Theo also wants to say goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye, guys. Again, just keep subscribing, liking our videos. Approaching 1,000 views. So if we can get to that landmark. Preferably mid-November, that'd be amazing. So keep watching our videos. Thank you so much for all the support so far. So thank you. Bye-bye.